Surely people are going to have a different take on Israel from, compared to somebody who lives here. I was born and raised in Israel. I know about the society in and out.
It's hard to breathe, but that's alright.
I just wanted to share this information with them because it's important to be able to get different perspectives. Now, I know that most people are not going to agree with a lot of things that I say, and that's okay. I'm not looking for people to agree with everything that I say. What I'm looking for is to be able to build bridges on the basis of what it is that we do agree on. Most likely, we agree on 70% of things. But most people put the emphasis on 30% of the things that you don't agree on. And so that's why you're never able to actually be able to look at what you do agree on and to work from that premise, because you're so busy fighting about the things that you disagree on. And I'm not about that life. Surely people are going to have a different take on Israel from, compared to somebody who lives here. I was born and raised in Israel. I know about the society in and out. I am an Israelite. And so somebody who's telling me about Israel from the outside, who's never been here, who has no idea what they're talking about, who read some books or whatever, bro, you can't talk to me about those things, because by the time you finish reading the book, the information is no longer relevant even. For now, for example, I heard somebody say one time that Ashkenazis were the majority in Israel. They were the majority in Israel in the establishment of the state of Israel in 1948, up until probably the other immigration of those who had come from North Africa and come from Arabian countries and came from Ethiopia and came from India and other countries. So they're no longer the majority. But if that's what you read, then you are holding on to that premise. So you don't even have enough intellect to know that you need to upgrade your information. So I'm not here to argue with people about a reality. The only thing that I could say is these are the facts, and you go and do your own research. I'm sure you're going to research and find some things that probably are not good. You know what I mean? That happens everywhere in the world. But let's not be hypocritical in thinking that there's one standard when you talk about, oh, you from Israel? Yes, I'm from Israel. I live here and I love the place, and I'm going to remain here in the same way you love the place that you live in today. Right? And you're not, with all these societal issues, whoever has issues that are so great like that you have such a great problem with seeing some of the woes that are happening as a result of war and destruction on this end of the world. I need to see that same humanity when we're talking about the level of death, of destruction, of carnage, of starvation, and all these things that are happening 10, 20, 30 times over in Sudan, in the Congo, in Nigeria, in Haiti, in Ethiopia. I mean, we have enough places like these in the Sahel. We have enough places like these that if you really were about that humanity that you're talking about, you would not ignore those things, because these things were happening way before October 7th war began. But nobody said anything about that almost. And it's still happening now at a greater scale, and nobody's really saying anything about that. So if you really are about the humanity that you preach about, I need to be able to see that. If you're really about social justice and you really care so much about social justice, nobody cares about social justice more than I do. I live here in Israel. I work hand in hand with Israelis, hand in hand with Palestinians, to be able to make the life for all of us here better. So when you talk about social justice, there are a lot of social justices or injustices that are happening. For example, I'm just looking in America, for example, with African Americans, right? So you're going to tell me that those people are marching down the street and talking about injustices that are taking place 7,000 miles away, but they don't have enough heart, enough soul, enough compassion to be able to march right there in their states, in their cities, against injustices that are happening right there where they are. Look, I'm not an idiot. I'm not an idiot. You're not gonna divert my attention, from all of these things, and I'm just supposed to just ignore the realities wherever they are. We shouldn't ignore the reality as it is here. The devastation in Gaza is terrible. It's heartbreaking. What happened here on October 7th is terrible. Oh my God. It's horrendous. These things, and what's been happening ever since. It didn't start on October 7th, just like a lot of people say. Yeah, I was here when, right here on these streets, you had suicide bombers getting on buses and just indiscriminately blowing up, and you have 50, 60 people just killed innocent people who were just living their lives, and they said this is part of a resistance movement. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking? What type of resistance allows for people to just go and slaughter innocent human beings because they're what are you talking about? I mean, there have been people who've experienced horrendous things throughout history, generations, and nobody would justify anybody going out and just indiscriminately slaughtering innocent human beings. And they say that because we've been experiencing injustices, so we're going to just kill any innocent person walking down the street. You know why I know that's not even the mindset of people who are over in Gaza? Because when they were speaking to Hamas leaders over, then they said no, we didn't harm any civilians. They have this whole documentation, right? It's called Our Narrative, right? The Al-Aqsa Flood, and in there they say explicitly that we were told not to target children, elderly people, and innocent civilians. Only military personnel and military infrastructure. So they even know that targeting innocent human beings is a terrible thing. But they did it anyway.
They did it.
And they broadcast it live.
Yes.
And they also opened people's social media accounts to be able to broadcast them slaughtering the people so the people on social media could be able to see these things. And they did it with glee, and they did it with gladness, and they did it with happiness, and they were proud of it. They were proud of what they were doing.
Absolutely.
They were proud of what they were doing. So if they were doing those things, right, in such a horrendous way, they had to know that there was going to be some repercussions.
They knew,
and they had prepared for those repercussions. How do I know again? Because when we were still licking the wounds, trying to understand what was even taking place on October 7th here, people had already started protesting against and saying a genocide.
That didn't make sense to me. I was looking like, excuse me, it just happened.
We're still in the midst of it.
The next day, I think from the 8th, that's when it started.
No, October 7th.
On the same day?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
In the UK, it was delayed by a day.
People were out protesting. They were first they were protesting in support of Hamas and what they did. That's first. They went and slaughtered all these people. So people were out protesting. People were out celebrating.
Yeah. I saw the celebration.
And then they started protesting and saying, "Uh-oh, there are going to be some repercussions here. So now we need to prepare ourselves. Let's get into gear so that we can be able to fight off these repercussions that are going to come, because we know they're going to come." So they had already started talking about these things before anything had even happened. Shady, we're not idiots.
Absolutely.
We can sit down and have a conversation about whatever we need to have a conversation about. There have been some terrible things, and nobody's going to deny anything that has been happening. I mean, they're terrible human beings all over the world. Some of these governments, all these governments, as a matter of fact, are corrupt. These are people who are bloodthirsty. These are people who are all about themselves. These are people who get voted in for one purpose and they go out and do something totally different.
Absolutely.
So I totally reject all of these governments and the way they've been acting and treating the people. So you're not going to hear me just standing up blindly speaking about it, in support of the Israeli government with all the ridiculous things that they do internally all the time. And it's not only me. The Ethiopians go out and fight against the social injustices that they're experiencing. The Shady or the ultra-Orthodox communities, they're going out and they're protesting against one of the institutions. The other Israelis who are out, 100,000 people, are going out protesting against some of the institutions. You have the Druze community, right, which one of the Arab factions, who are going out and protesting against, some of the. So people are out protesting. They're talking about these things. They're very vocal and very loud about them. But when it comes to our livelihood, when it comes to our lives being endangered by external forces, institutions, peoples, governments that are saying that they would like to destroy, annihilate,
finish the people,
everybody who's here
to Palestine,
then I have a problem with that, absolutely. Because what happens, and this is my final point. October 7th showed that there is no discrimination when it comes to what people would do internally. How do I know? Because they killed foreigners like Joshua Molel, who had nothing to do with it. They killed Arab Israelis who were clearly stating, look, I am an Arab Israeli. The only difference probably between me and you over on that side of the border, who referring to yourself as Palestinian, is that in 1948 war, I remained, or my family remained. You didn't. You went there. But I'm one of you. Oh, well, that's too bad. You should have never been there. I'm going to kill you as well. It had nothing to do with skin color. Ethiopians got killed right along with Europeans. It had nothing to do with your religion.
Yeah.
Muslims, Christians, Jews were killed. Nothing to do with it. So really, you were not going to have an out. If you were here and they get access to you, then you were going to be one of those statistics on their lists, unfortunately. And so when you have people who are looking at things through that prism, there's not much that you can be able to do with them because they're wedded to this idea. How do I know that they're wedded to this idea? Because in their radical thinking, there's a concept that is called Dar el-Islam and Dar el-Harb. Dar el-Islam means that every portion of land that had ever been conquered by Muslims has to remain in their possession.
I heard of that.
Right, it has to remain, and that's what's called a waqf. This is Muslim land, right? This is holy possession. But the Dar el-Harb says that we should bring under our tutelage also everybody else who has not yet been conquered. And there are two ways we can do this. They could either accept what we're saying and convert and allow our way to be the way of the land.
Yeah, or they pay.
Or we got the sword for you. We'll do it by force.
Okay.
El harb or kharev in Hebrew, that means sword. So we can do it by conquest, right, forcibly, or you could just accept it. Your choice. Your choice.
Terrible choices.
So, obviously, I mean, this is the reality we have to deal with, so.
Bro, thank you so very much. Guys, so much for me to unpack. So I'm sure you believe you were of the thought that all information was for you. No, it's for me. I need to learn a lot, okay? So I'm going to go back and do my research as well. And thank God I've got his contact. I will ask him all the questions I want to ask. And if you have any questions for him at all, guys, do let me know in the comment section. I will leave his social handles so you can go follow him as well. You can have a chat with him. Just speak to him, ask him questions and have a chat, all right? Thanks so very much. Bro, it's going to be a peace out from us. Peace.
More than words can say, you are me. Oh, you are the light that shine in my way. You are me. Oh, I love you more than words can say. You are me. Oh, you are the light that shine in my way.